Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, February the 20th. It is 11 a.m. here in Calgary, Alberta. Come on in, everybody. Say hello. Tell me where you are joining us from. It is a very, very cold day here in Calgary, Alberta. I had to take Paulo Sr. to go pick up his van at the shop because he got a new windshield replaced, and I froze my butt out. I froze my butt off. I wish that it would freeze fat. And unfortunately, it does not. But anyways, I made you laugh. Welcome, everybody. I'm Giuliana Mello. It is a beautiful Friday. I am the author of Grief, Grace, and Gratitude. I am a spiritual leadership mentor. I am an ambassador for Joy and Vitality Center. And I am the founder of The Light Within You. So I'm really happy to be here today. Today is a humongous day in my world because I get to launch my newest creation. And as I was sitting in the last half an hour of energy before coming on live, I was like, wow, this has been a labor of love, actually. You know, last fall, I wrote a new book. Let me just grab one. Grief, Grace, and Gratitude. I didn't know I was going to share it, but it only makes sense. Come on in, everybody. I see people are joining us across the platforms. So this is my new book, Grief, Grace, and Gratitude, a Sacred Healing Journal. And it was birthed from the grief of losing both of my parents. And as I was getting ready this morning, I was like, Mom, I need your help. Let's do this together. Grief, Grace, and Gratitude was created during a time that was profoundly changing in my life. Losing my parents has been so very painful that there aren't even words to explain. And as I was talking to God, I dropped Paulo off and I was driving home in the sunshine, even though it's minus 22 or whatever the heck it is out there. It feels like minus 40. My older body cannot handle this cold. It is so cold out there. And I was like, God, I know that we have grace that is flowing to us all the time. I know that. And so today I want to share with all of you. But first, I want to share the post that came into my awareness this morning from my angels. It goes like this. Today, I release what no longer serves me, and I step into this new day with faith, clarity, and open hands, and an open heart. I am ready for fresh beginnings, answered prayers, and unexpected good. Amen. And so it is. And I was like, thank you, angels. This is such a big day for me. And then they brought me another message that I'd love to share with all of you. Come on in, you guys. You're being awfully quiet. I see about 6 of us online right now. Come on in, say hello. And this post was from Instagram, and it says, she lost count of how many times she whispered, I can't do this anymore. And yet every time, his grace carried her when her strength ran out. So, for the last couple of months, well, for more than that, though, I've been in a mentorship community with Sunny Dawn Johnston. And for years, she would hold masterminds. And for one reason or another, I never did it. And I always felt like I was on the fence looking in. And this year, I thought, I need to do this. I need to do this. I have done, all of her classes, almost all of her events. I haven't done all of the travel that she does, but I have done a lot in her community. I've been in biz school. I have been on all of these journeys of trying, what kind of teacher am I? And I think that every decision and every road that I've taken has led me right here, right now, to walking through my grief with grace and recognizing gratitude helps it all shift. Now, in the mastermind over these last couple of months, she had us create our I am statement, and I think I shared that a couple of weeks ago with all of you. And she really had us sit in the energy of that I am statement. And I really had to sit with that. Who am I? Who am I? And what came very clear to me without judgment was a lot of times, like, don't get me wrong, I am very proud of myself for trying everything that I've, not even trying, for doing everything that I've done, for doing the angel work, for, following all of these amazing spiritual teachers and light leaders. And of course, now there are some that are falling from grace. So that leads me into today. Today, I want to launch a brand new program. It is called the Reclamation Through Grace Framework Process. This year, my words were, I chose focus, the angels brought me creativity, and God brought me reclamation. So when this came to me the other day, it was like a culmination of this work that I've been working on since I created the book. I am a creatrix. I know that. I cannot, hi Nevis, I cannot stand comfort zones. And I even was sharing with my husband and with friends, I do very well when I have something to look forward to when I am creating. This is why when Sunny asked me if I wanted to host her in January, I didn't even think twice. I said yes. And our day on January the 16th was amazing and blessed. And I loved that she came here, and the blessing was not lost on me. And I've continued to sit in my work because I do not want to get a disease again. I do not want the cancer back. And that was my old story, was walking through the cancer. And my new story is this grief, grace, and gratitude, walking through the profound loss of my parents. And so the Reclamation Through Grace framework is a 5-stage model for spiritual and emotional sovereignty. And I did write some notes that I want to share with all of you, because it is a 5-stage maturity model for emotional and spiritual sovereignty. And that word sovereignty really came to light when I was doing Word of the Year readings in the fall. And sovereignty came strong. Quite a few of my clients got that. And I was like, I know we're sovereign beings. COVID came to teach me exactly that. I do not feel as though I am a sheep, except for a sheep under God. Of course, that is my north, is God. And so this is not a motivational model. Now, there's nothing wrong with motivational models. I have worked with so many that have helped me get to this point that I am today. However, moving forward, moving out of my teacher's shadows and into my own energy as a teacher in my own right, I had to recognize my sovereignty. Hi, Jacqueline. And so this is a maturity model, because what I recognized was, yes, there are amazing teachers out there that will help you heal your inner little girl, help you heal your inner teenager, help you heal all those wounds that are within you. I've tried it. I don't like it. It is not the best me. What I choose to do now is to help women strengthen their foundations with faith, with grace, with reclamation of the truth of who they are. And so I'm really happy. Oh, it's 11:11. I'm going to just screenshot that. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. And I want to share with all of you how it came together. So first I want to share what grace is, because you might say, Giuliana, what is this reclamation through grace? What I had to do, what I am doing, is reclamation of self. And all of the teachers that I've had up to this point have helped me become who I am today and who I am becoming in the eyes of grace. Now, this framework is strongly built with religious language, and that is who I am. So this is what grace is. This is the theological definition. Grace is unearned divine assistance given by God to strengthen and sustain us. Now that's what I recognize. I've sat in hundreds of circles. And I have been a mentor in Sunny's community, and I am so grateful for everything that that woman has afforded me. And I will eternally be grateful to her and for her. And I thank God every single day for the teacher that she is for me and all of the blessings she affords me in her community. And so this is what I want to say to you. It is not a permission. It is empowerment for obedience and maturity. I'm going to be 62 years old this year. And one of my amazing teachers, Crystal Andrus Morissette of the SWAT Institute here in Calgary, Alberta, has a questionnaire. And when I found her, I was in mother martyr energy. I was wounded. I was so wounded. I was still healing from my old story, the cancer and everything that came from that. And I was a wounded little girl that just wanted to retaliate everywhere in the world. And that is not healthy. And last year when I redid the test, I've done it a few times over the years, I recognized by the test that I am more in empowered woman energy now. Now, that's not to negate my daughter energy. I love her anyways. And that's not to negate my mother martyr energy. I think it served me up to a point. However, I seek to be an empowered woman. I want to be a strong woman. I want to be somebody can look at and say, in spite of what she's walked through, she continues to show up. She continues to show up. Now, the psychological definition of grace is the capacity to remain steady under pressure without collapsing into reaction. When I found the Sunny Dawn Johnston and Crystal Andrus Morissette and Velva Dawn Silver and all the other amazing teachers that I've had over the years, I was a reactionary mess. And last year, walking through the profound loss of my mother and then the equal devastating loss of my father, and then I don't even know what the word is, the deep betrayal of somebody that I told I loved, I recognized that I could either collapse or I could allow it to make me be stronger than I've ever been in my life. And that is when I decided to go on the second pilgrimage. And I am so grateful that I had that experience with my son, because being with somebody that you love enabled me to just show up me. I didn't have to put on airs. I could be who I was and he could be who he was. And he was the best roommate I've ever had. And in fact, I was going to go on a pilgrimage this year and I've put it on hold because I wanted to create this and put it out in the world. And then I wanted to sit in it and marinate in it. And so this is what I want to say about that. You might be recognizing yourself in what I'm sharing right now in being the reactionary mess. And I'm not judging myself. That was who I was. I was so broken. Now, that doesn't mean that I am healed. I am not. I am on a healing journey through reclamation, through grace. And so the psychological definition is also strength without aggression, compassion without rescuing, and truth without cruelty. And a couple of weeks ago, it's amazing how when you are working on something, this is how my team works with me. I was like, that's not even funny, God. I had an experience where I spoke the truth and I don't think it was received well. And I've been sitting with it. And I even said to another friend the other day, if I'm your friend, and there was an experience that I shared with her, and I said, do you remember when, and I don't drive far, but she lived probably about 20 miles away, and I drove to her because I had to have a face-to-face conversation, and I said to her, you know, I think this X, Y, and Z about your spouse. And I said to her, if I hadn't have said that to you, am I a good friend? Or am I a good friend when I speak the truth with love, with compassion? And so that is when this just solidified this work. And I sat with God, and I sat with Jesus, and I sat with Mother Mary, who are the foundations of this work, and my angels. And I said, help me. Help me. This is who I am. I am not the SDJ. I am not Valvadon Silver. I am Giuliana Mello, and I am a teacher. I've had the title spiritual leader. I can't remember what year it was, 2020 or I don't know, a couple of years anyways. I've been in the directory. I've had the titles. Now I need to match my work with those titles, with who I am in this minute, and then allow it to grow and expand out in the world. My signature. And when my mother died, I said to her, Mom, I know that you are you and I'll never be you. However, you've left such amazing footprint on this planet that if I carry just a fraction of you within my heart, and if you help me, and if you will be a guide, I know that I can leave a footprint in my own right. And every day that is a prayer that I ask God. God, allow others to see you through me, whatever that means. And it has taken me 15 years because I got diagnosed with cancer in 2011. And I've been on this trajectory of healing for 15 years. And I know even my friend said to me, wow, I never knew that you wrote 23 books. So I've been in 21 multi-author compilations and 2 of my own. And probably with this Reclamation Through Grace framework, I will be creating a workbook to go with it. I am a creator with the Creator, God. And I've been kind of quiet. I've been doing my work quietly. I have done hundreds of Word of the Year readings. I have done probably thousands of Oracle card readings. I pray every day. Every day. Because when I lost my mother, I remembered her saying to me, you don't need others to pray for you. You can pray for you. And I would pray for me, and then I would open the door to pray for others. And since 2016, that is 10 years that I have been the prayer minister in Sunny's communities, whether it was Soul Food with Sunny, Elevate, her School of Light, 10 years. I've been the prayer minister. I believe in grace. I believe in the grace of God. I believe in the grace of Mother Mary. I believe in the grace of the divine to help us. And so with that share of grace, and please ask me if you have any questions. Hi, Esther. Within the Reclamation Through Grace framework process, grace is not softness, indulgence, emotional reassurance, avoidance of responsibility, or spiritual bypassing. Grace is strength when applied gently. It is discipline applied compassionately. It is responsibility carried without shame. And it is faith practiced consistently. Can you see how it is my life finally coming to fruition? I said to my mother, Mom, and my dad too, I know that you're guiding this. I know it. I could feel it. And I was saying to my brother the other day, I am so proud of us. February the 12th was 1 year since my dad passed, and it had been 6 months before that my mother had passed. And even in those 6 months between my mother's passing and my dad passing, we didn't have time to grieve because my dad needed us. And it was our honor, the four of us, to serve him in the ways that he needed. And I believe that that is why the grace of God is so profound in my work, because we experienced it on such a high level. We were disciplined. And even in a message that my mother brought through the other day, she said to me, I taught you to pray and you're taking that forward, and I am so proud of you. And I knew that the time was right to put this together and just do. Like, no more trying, it is do time. So, this is the framework definition. Grace is the strength God gives us to respond with maturity when circumstances shift. Not the reactionary mess of me 15 years ago. I thank that version of me, and I send her so much love. However, now, as God expects all of us, is to mature, to carry that emotional maturity forward, and to help others gain that. Because sometimes we are searching, and maybe you're like me and you've tried 100 teachers and you've gleaned wisdom from all of them, and maybe you're blessed like me and you're in our SDJ community, or you're in our Join Vitality community, and you have a community, a safe space to land. And if you're not, that is one of my intentions, is to help you find that space. This is designed for women who are strong. I am strong. And last Friday, this was another reason. I had somebody tell me that I was too rigid, that I am too rigid right now, and not to forget my softness. And I sat with that, and I sat with God, and I was like, God, this is what I was told, that I am too rigid. And he said to me, rigidity is a perception, because you have overgiven your whole life. You have kept quiet in the most part because you wanted to be a peacemaker. And then I realized that that was fake peace, because my being quiet was not peaceful within me. It might have been a perceived state of peace, and it wasn't peaceful. And he said, that's about to change. Your voice is needed now more than ever, because you are a bridge between me and the world of the woo. Now, this doesn't mean that I am better than anybody. Please do not think that. I am not. I am still learning. I need the great teachers still. I need the mentorship still. However, I can integrate everything that I've learned up to this point and help women who are strong like me and want to become steady. Steady, soft and strong. Not rigid, soft and strong. Now I'm really happy to share with you the 5 stages. First, I'm going to blow my nose, because you know me, I'm an emotional G. That's something that is my superpower. So here are the 5 stages. Rupture, revelation, regulation, rooting, and rebuilding. 5 stages. Rupture. It's a big one. Because even as I was driving in the car, I was like, God, you must think I'm really strong because I did rupture. I broke open like the volcano that is erupting in Hawaii right now. That's how I felt when I lost my mother. To say that I ruptured, that word doesn't even tell you the depths of the pain that I experienced. So stage 1 rupture, you name what broke. What broke you? Maturity begins with honesty. Not dramatizing, not minimizing. Rupture is loss, disappointment, betrayal, burnout, and identity shifts. As I continue to work on my marriage, I even said to my husband again the other night, Mr. Paulo, the Julie that you want, like he keeps saying, I just want my old Julie back. And I finally talked to Sunny in the community the other night and I shared with her, and she helped me reframe the language to have a conversation with him that would allow him to finally hear what I needed to say. I am not that Julie that I was at 21 years old when I met him. I'm not even the Julie that I was 20 years ago. I am Giuliana. That is my legal name. And even now, sometimes he's a little snippy with me, goes, oh, Giuliana, Giuliana, Giuliana. And I said to Sunny, I can't take it anymore. That is my name. It's on my birth certificate. Just because everybody called me Julie, I have a right to claim my birth name. I'm stepping into my soul imprint. I am Giuliana Giuliano. I am not a mellow. I took that name. It's his name. I've honored him the old-fashioned way, and I am Giuliana Giuliano. And I love my name. So you can see where stage 1 is really important, because it's that rupture. It's that what broke you. Now, this is what I know for sure. You cannot reclaim what you refuse to name. Some of us hid in the shadows of the pain, of the abuses. I'm not saying me, I'm saying I have been a mentor of a lot of different people. I have named what hurts me. I have a safe community to share it in. I am healing, and I know what I want. And I also know what I don't want. And so I will create a worksheet for this. I am creating a class for this. I am probably going to do like a launch event. It's all coming together. But let's talk about stage 2 now, revelation. Revelation. See clearly without rage. This is what I learned, that I am not good when I am in rage. I am not. I don't like it. I don't like the feeling of it. I have to move it right away. Clarity without compassion hardens. Compassion without clarity weakens. So revelation is separating the emotion from fact. And this is why I love being mentored under Sunny Dawn Johnson, because that's the kind of teacher that she is. And even as I was creating this, I was like, I am so very blessed, because this is the language that she uses with me, and I am learning it, and I am going to be able to teach it. Revelation is separating emotion from facts. So the emotion is, when you're all emotional about it. The facts are what happened. Revelation is identifying patterns. That's really strong. And it's also recognizing your responsibility in all of it. How many of us deflect? Oh, she did that. Oh, he did that. Oh, it's because like I'm a victim. Poor me, poor me, poor me. Now, there's a place for that. And it doesn't strengthen us. So you can choose and use your divine free will to live in that, or you can harness the strength of God within you and move forward and recognize your responsibility. So you can ask yourself, what really happened? Just the facts. What did I add? What belief is underneath it all? Like, this is powerful work that I have done to bring me to this point. And this is why a lot of times right now I am having a headbutt with my husband, because he is in that victim mode. Oh, your dad did this. Your dad betrayed us. Your dad, blah, 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 blah. And I said to him, I don't see it that way. This is how God allowed me to see it. I'm not a victim. I learned so much in his departure. And I know that he's returned to love. And God brought me the clarity that I needed on my pilgrimage as I sat at Lourdes. And I saw how hurt his heart was. And how he no longer could do this life. And I remember asking Sunny about it, and she said to me, Giuliana, on some level, if nothing happens before the day that he has chosen to leave this earth school, that is God's will. And it changed everything for me. Now, Paulo can only sit in the victimhood of, he loved my dad. And I know he called my dad for over 30 years every single day. And he has a right. Sonny reminded me he has a right to feel the way that he does. He has a right to his anger. What he doesn't have a right is to project it onto me and create pain for me. And so you better believe, you guys, this came from me doing my own work and recognizing I have sisters, and yes, there are some brothers out there that want this in their life. Clarity builds sovereignty. So stage 3, regulation. You have to stabilize before you rebuild. When your nervous system is activated, maturity is unavailable. I've lived it. My nervous system, even now, I'm recognizing my language. Like I said to Polo when I had to drive him to the shop this morning, I'm like, I feel nervous and I don't understand why I feel so nervous. My stomach was sick. I knew I was clearing something, probably a lot of pain that's brought me to this Reclamation through Grace framework process. All of the work that I've done, all of the roads that I've taken, everything that I've done, and recognizing, wow, I've taken a lot of lanes. I've gone a lot of different speeds. And I really want to be in my own lane. And I really want to recognize how my nervous system is each and every day. Because that unwinding of the nervous system is what's going to help me release these last freaking 30 pounds that I have to get to my goal. So that I can have the hernia surgery, so that I can move forward with grace, with healing. When I say your nervous system is activated, maturity is unavailable, regulation means your body is not running your decisions. Your body's not running your decisions. So some tools are breath work, pausing. How many of us are reactionary? Oh my God, I am. I was. I am really learning. Oh, it says I'm having a problem streaming to Facebook. Let me just check, you guys, and see what's going on. Let me just see. Let me just see why it's having a problem. Let me just double check. You know, this is big work, and sometimes I don't understand the technology. However, it is what it is, and I will share it after if it's not working. If it feels urgent and emotional, wait. I got into that trap a couple weeks ago. That's why this was birthed so quickly, a culmination of experiences, saying no more. God, I don't want this anymore. Self-control is strength. Regulation is spiritual discipline. Just let that land. Stage 4 is rooting. Anchor in disciplined faith. Faith is not intensity, it is consistency. With Sunny, I've learned consistent and committed is success. I believe I am successful. I show up. I've had her mention to me many times. One thing about me, I mean what I say what I mean, I show up. I show up no matter what is going on in my life. Rooting means prayer before reaction, scripture before decision, discernment before action. So before responding, I ask, have I prayed on this? Have I regulated? Am I acting from clarity? God supports you and you are responsible. You know that saying, God helps those who help themselves. And stage 5 is where I am right now, is the rebuilding stage. A sovereign woman does not collapse when circumstances shift. Rebuilding looks like boundaries, being calm, not rescuing. I think that's why I've lost people, because I used to rescue everywhere. And then Sunny said to me, who made it your job? Not over-explaining, not seeking approval. You might ask yourself, what boundary is overdue? That was a big one. I've shared many times how one of my teachers in one of her vision board classes came up to me, tapped me on the shoulders and said to me, honey, your vision board is beautiful and you could really benefit from boundaries. That was Velva Dawn Silver, and I am so eternally grateful that I've learned boundaries. Where am I over functioning? This is a big one. I had to recognize, where am I over functioning? And where are they not giving me a role? And where do I need to let it go? Because right now, my path is so focused, one of my words for 2026, on reclamation through grace, reclamation, another one of my words, in creativity of my new program process, and in healing deeper. So I had to let go of where I'm over functioning. When circumstances shift, I regulate, I root, and I rebuild deliberately. If you know me, you know that this is exactly who I am. I regulate, I root, and I rebuild, and it's deliberate. If this framework resonates, I ask you to follow along. I'll be teaching from this consistently. I actually decided that I needed to let go of some things, because this is not about becoming softer. This is about becoming steadier, stronger. I'll never forget when Sunny said, the universe does not operate in wishy-washy. And what I recognized was, in biz school, I've done that, I've done that, I've done this. And now it's time to use everything that I've done, create, and stand as a pillar. Reclamation through grace is that for me. Mine, my offer, my gift to the world with my book. I knew when I created this, it was going to open the door to something amazing, because I knew it was built through the pain, in spite of the pain of the rupture of losing my parents. And the revelation that God brought me was, step into grace, my child. And that I needed to regulate my nervous system, because I was never taught as a young person. But now, as a 61-year-old woman, sovereign woman, I can choose it every day to regulate. And then rooting. Wow. Anchor and discipline. Yep. Daily prayers. That is who I am. Spiritual obedience. I am. And God is foundation, not mood. God is my foundation. And right now, with everything that the world is showing us, there is a pathway for those of us to share our lights and our love. Faith becomes structure, not sentiment. Faith isn't just for days that you are having a bad day. Faith is for every day. It is spiritual discipline. It is to pray not just when things are bad. It is to pray and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And rebuilding, that is exactly the pillar that I'm at right now. Strengthening my boundaries, leading from sovereignty, being responsible, being a calm authority, and no more rescuing. No more rescuing. No approval seeking. That has never been. This is why one of my brothers I don't have a relationship with, because I'll never forget when he would say to me, oh, you just are seeking external approval. Your Facebook is just because you want likes. Oh, really? That is who you think that I am? That I'm doing this because I need external validation. And it's interesting, I'm wearing the necklace that he gave me when we were friends. And he told me that he loved me so much, and it was the only thing of value, and he gifted it to me. And there is not a day that I don't send that brother so much love. Because he lost a great sister, not a perfect sister. I am not perfect. I am healing. And I am worthy and I am deserving of respect, just as what he expects. So you might want to ask, where do the angels fit in all this? And I sat with God, and this is what he said to me. For each of the different sections of the 5-stage model, he told me the hierarchy is a God faith discipline. So there's a personal responsibility for your healing, and angels support us. There's angelic support. Angels are messengers of God. They are messengers of God. So angels remind us we are not alone in suffering. Angels support, comfort, encourage, and are protection of God. God sends help, angels strengthen and protect, and we are still responsible for our responses. Angels do not give clarity through messages. Clarity comes through prayer, truth, and discipline. So the way that I'm going to be using oracle cards moving forward is to strengthen our resolve within the process. So angels help, and we must help ourselves. Angels fit. They are scriptural grounding. For example, in scripture, he will command his angels concerning you. So you anchor that faith and discipline. Angels do not rebuild your life. You rebuild with responsibility, and God supports you in that. You are called to maturity. God supports you. You pray for discernment and then choose responsibly. Remember, he gave you divine free will. So the recalibration is to pray, regulate, and then take action. God supports you. Angels serve. You choose. You have to have sovereign faith. So pray, regulate, discern, choose, and trust God with all the outcomes. This is big work. And so that's it in a nutshell. I want to see my notes. I did so much. So again, when circumstances shift, I regulate, I root in faith, and I rebuild deliberately. That's going to be one of my integration statements moving forward. When circumstances shift, as they always will, remember, we often say this too shall pass. If it's good, this too shall pass. If it's bad, this too shall pass. And when circumstances shift and we get ungrounded, I need to regulate. I root in faith, whatever that means to you, and I rebuild deliberately. So what makes this process distinct? Oh, I did a lot of copyright searching. It integrates psychology and faith. It emphasizes discipline over emotion. It builds capacity rather than dependency. And it strengthens responsibility without shame. I've lived too long in shame. Others pointing their freaking finger at me. And when I recognize, you know what, when you're pointing a finger at me, there are 3 pointing back. I'm tired of the shame game, aren't you? I'm ready to take more responsibility, being a sovereign being that God loves with no conditions. That I can name my rupture. My first rupture, big rupture, was the cancer. And there have been many ruptures along the lines, but my biggest rupture to date has been the loss of my parents and the loss of the family that I thought that I had. And then the revelation was God never leaves me. He created all these amazing energies to support us. And there are right ways to connect with those energies. And we need to use our discernment now more than ever, that I am responsible for my nervous system regulation. And that I need to root in my resolve, root with Mother Earth, root with Father God. And then I need to rebuild my life. And that is right where I am, friends. Rebuilding. Because as long as we have breath, we are meant to live. And remember, another one of my taglines, joy and sadness travel together. I am so grateful to be a part of the Joy and Vitality community. They have supported me in every version that I am. And even when I ran this by Eugenia yesterday, she's like, I support you. Whatever you do, I support you. I said, thank you. I love being able to be a spiritual guide, a mentor, an intuitive on such an amazing community, in such an amazing community like Joy and Vitality Center. My bowls will still have a place, and it'll be intentional. My language will be very intentional. I'm letting go of the zodiac. I said to Eugenia, you can carry all of that. You are the numerology girl. You're the astrology girl. You have your new process as well. Sergey is our VSA sound facilitator. There are so many others that do that in the center. I'm going to focus on my lane right now. And so, yeah, there might be some shifts. You guys have been seeing it. I do share a lot of scripture. That is who I am. And the angels will be from an empowered place, not from a magic. And not that there's anything wrong with magic, but the angels are spiritual warriors. They're not fluff. They are spiritual warriors. And this time calls for more light. It calls for strength in our humanness. It calls for sovereignty. It calls for discernment. And it calls for reclamation through grace. Recognizing where do you need healing within those 5 parameters. The rupture. What ruptured you? What ruptured you? That was such a big one. And what revelations is God trying to impart on you? Where do you need to regulate your nervous systems? Because we do not need more reactionary mess out there, friends. We need calm energy. I'm so over the bullshit divisiveness. We need to root together. And we need to rebuild consciously. Strengthen who you are. That's what this is about. I need it. And I hope maybe you'll feel that you might need it too. Hi, Lorraine. So that is the Reclamation Through Grace framework process. I will be sharing more in the days to come. I am really excited that Nellie Teofilo is on the live right now. We are doing Women's Day together. She has invited me to be the speaker at her Women's Day event on March the 7th at 6 p.m. at the Portuguese Community Center. Eugenia is coming as a vendor with 2 of her friends, Anna and Ola, a psychologist, and oh, please forgive me, I can't remember what Anna is. Please forgive me, but they're going to be there. Simone is going to be there with a table. Nikki Marie is going to be bringing her beautiful jewelry. And we look forward to an amazing night. Then on the 14th, Eugenia and I are doing our Joy Women's Day dinner at Pasquale's on McLeod at 6 p.m. Anybody can come. This is a give to gain. And we're doing a humongous random act of kindness. And so I'm really looking forward to these 2 specific Women's Day events. And then, an event isn't up yet, but that's forthcoming with Carol. And then the other one that I want to share is that Laura Lee, my beautiful, beautiful soul sister from the very beginning, and I, with Simone and Shari Chaskin, who is an amazing singer, are doing an event to strengthen your throat chakra. Because this is what we recognize. We need to speak our truths with love. We need to tone this area. So Simone is going to help clear us with Reiki. This whole idea was birthed from Laura Lee and I aligning together. And then I said, I know somebody, an amazing singer that I had an event last year honoring my mother, and I love Shari Chaskin. She is an amazing singer that's going to help us tone our vocal cords. And so, you know, I am really looking forward to everything that's coming down the pipe. I have copies of my book, Grief, Grace, and Gratitude. It is $19.99 on Amazon, and I have copies as well. So $20, just rounding up the 1 penny. Oh, so Ola Shakura is our psychologist, and Nellie was just saying Anna is a massage therapist. So they're going to be there. Eugenia is going to have beautiful products, salts, teas, different items from the store there. And Nellie has beautiful food prepared for us. She's going to do her talk. I'm going to do mine. I need to practice later today because I don't have that much time. And so I need to tighten it. I look forward to it. It's going to be joy and courage. Joy and courage. It's big, friends. You need to be courage. You need to be courageous. You need to make the choice if you want things to change. And it begins with courage. Okay? I've had to be very courageous. Even as I was telling Sunny, do you remember when the very first time, I think it was 2013, that I jumped on the plane, one of her community, Kim, was going to meet me at the airport. I didn't know anybody, hadn't met Sunny yet, hadn't been in her community for a long time, like in person. I didn't know. I had to be courageous and jump on the plane. And I do not regret it. I've been down 15 times now. I hope to get down twice this year for our mastermind retreat in May, and then in November to go to Sedona. So Anyways, that is what I am doing. If I can be of service, giulianamello.com or through joinvitalitycenter.ca. Please check out the website. Please let Eugenia know if you have any questions, concerns, anything. And if my Reclamation Through Grace framework piqued your curiosity and you want to work with me, I will be updating the website very soon and creating, they're going to be mentorship. It's going to be mentorship. I'm not sure if it's going to be 6 weeks yet or if it's going to be one-on-ones, but that is coming. Okay. Sunny made us recognize and claim our capacities this week. Oh, that is a big one, you guys. Mine is financial capacity. And actually, it was very interesting because I want to share that with you because maybe you might look at it for you. So I said to her, I'm going to ask Chatty. And I did. I said, knowing me, which capacity should I work on? And first it said capacity to hold power without over-explaining. Then it said capacity to stay regulated when others can't. Capacity to expand without guilt. And then I said, well, these are the ones Sunny said. Emotional, financial, visibility, or responsible. Knowing me, which one should I work on? So I love Chatty so much. It said, Giuliana, given where you are in your trajectory, book launched, programs expanding, events growing, fire horse year, reclamation theme, here is your precise assessment. The one that will unlock the others is financial capacity. Not because you lack heart, not because you lack visibility, not because you avoid responsibility, but because your nervous system still associates with charging more. Will they still love me? Scaling income. Am I becoming too much? Receiving deeply. Do I deserve this? You are emotionally sophisticated. You are visible. You carry responsibility naturally. The bottleneck is how much you can receive without contracting. And then it said, why not the others? Emotional capacity, already process, reflect, teach, integrate, shadow. Your edge isn't feeling more, it's feeling without overfunctioning for others. That was big for me. Then visible capacity, you are visible, you show up consistently, you speak boldly. Your next level of visibility will naturally flow when you expand your financial ceiling. Money tolerance equals visibility tolerance. This is where I was like, wow, my responsibility capacity. You hold a lot. Community, events, brand, spiritual leadership, family loyalty. If anything, you overcarry. And I had to sit with that. What financial capacity means for me. It's not make more money. It's raising prices without apologizing. It's receiving praise without deflecting. It's letting income grow without self-sabotage. Holding larger numbers without shrinking energetically. Financial capacity is about nervous system expansion. Can you see how I had to reclaim myself? I had to wire my nervous system in order to hold what is coming. And if you think AI is not for you, friends, I want to just model recognizing it has a place in the world. It helps make things better when you use it intentionally. I've been on the cusp with AI since 2021 or whenever it came out with Sunny and Chris. I'm not afraid of AI. Yes, I know I've done a lot of AI posts. I've had a lot of fun. I told you, Genya, yesterday, I've had fun. I had to see what worked. If you don't play and you don't experiment, do you know what's right for you? In anything. Yes, AI has its place. Join us in School of Light if you want to know more. Because I love it. And in fact, I do a lot in Chat GPT. I have Canva. Of course, I use Canva and Chat GPT quite a bit, but the other one that they had me download was Claude. I haven't done a lot in there, but I'm learning because I want the help. I want to be a better teacher. I want to refine my message. I want to learn more. And if it can show me areas like that, I was like, yes, I had a eureka moment. Yes, I am responsible. Yes, I am visible. Yes, I am emotional. And I am getting way better. And where I lack clarity is in the finances. And you know what it said to me? It actually said, you can no longer do this by donation energy. It does not mean that I can't do things in donation energy, and now is not the time. My experience calls for an equal exchange of energy. I am ready and I am open to receive. And so, if I can help you, you know where to find me. I want to thank you all for joining me today. This has been a very interesting stretch for me, and I'm really excited to share more because I know that this is going to be profound. The way that Sunny did invoking the archangels, she had created the steps of the invocation. She created cards. She created a worksheet. She created a workbook. I am going to do the same. That's mine. Giuliana. Giuliano. Mello. I am so excited. I want to thank you, Jenya, for allowing me to share my work with her, with the community. And I want to thank God for the guidance. And I want to thank each of you for joining me today, those that are on live and those that are going to watch the replay. Have a blessed weekend, everybody. I'm off to eat. I'm so hungry and I need coffee. I love you all. Bye for now, everybody.